Nice shirt, right? All right. This is about Biden's bashing of half America. Immediately, I couldn't believe, with the red background and all that, not everybody, but the majority of even Sky News Australia, not Sky News here, but Sky News Australia, they said it looked demonic. I think that's how you say it. Multiple people here said the exact same thing. There was no point in having the two Marines in the background. I don't know what that was about. But anyway, in his speech, okay, I got a little cheat sheet here. In his speech, now keep in mind, well, okay, I'll go through that. Okay, the China situation, they're going to invade Taiwan and take it over. He did not mention China once during his speech. He didn't mention the inflation being out of control. He mentioned the inflation 0 times. Okay? And if you think about that, that's an important item to most Americans, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, Socialist, Fascist, whatever you are. The economy being in the shitter, not being able to buy stuff that you need, baby formula, stuff like that, that should have been addressed. He mentioned January 6th twice. Over and done with. They're not going to find anything. Extremism 7 times. He mentioned that. The border. Everybody knows it's a shit show down at the border. He mentioned that 0 times. The fentanyl problem. Americans dying left and right over fentanyl. I did a video on that. He didn't mention the fentanyl problem. He mentioned insurrection 3 times. And look at what an insurrection is. Don't go by what somebody tells you it is. Actually look it up. There was no insurrection. Violence, he mentioned 10 times. Republicans, 16 times. Crime, 0 times. Charlottesville once. Trump, 3 times. And Make America Great Again 13 times. Now the problem I have with that is China absolutely, one, why would he even mention Trump? Trump has nothing to do. If Trump runs for presidency, he's not going to announce it until next year. So why even mention Trump? I don't understand that. That has nothing to do with what's going on right now. The inflation, like I say, that he definitely should have. The reason that he didn't touch on several of these objects, the border, inflation, fentanyl and all that, because they're not doing anything about it. Instead of going up there and saying half the country are semi-fascist, that the MAGA, Make America Great Again, and I still don't see what's wrong with that. Everybody should want their country to be great. Everybody. Doesn't matter who you are or what your beliefs are. Everybody should want their country to be great. There's nothing wrong with that. The border's out of control. So the things he should have mentioned in that speech is, well, here's what I'm going to do about inflation. Here's what I'm going to do about gas prices. He's already depleting the national reserves. He's just letting that go in the system. And yes, 3 million barrels of it or whatever was sold to, I believe, China or Russia, one of the two. That never should have happened. And accusing Trump supporters and Republicans as extremists, where? He mentioned the Republicans being a violent, right, extremist, right, violent people. Who rioted during 2020? Did anybody see any Republicans rioting? No. It was people from the left. Yeah, some of them might not have been Democrats. I'm not picking on all Democrats, but everybody knows most of them were Democrats. Why didn't he throw that in there? Why just pick on the Republicans? He's up there saying, you know, I'm a reuniter. I'm going to reunite this country. So he's going to reunite the country by bashing people that want America great. Bash Trump 3 times. There was no reason for that. You know, mention the Republicans, and he talks about the Republicans being violent, which is totally inaccurate. Okay? Who tried to kill a bunch of senators in Washington during the baseball game? That was not a Trump supporter. They made it out like it was somebody that was a Trump supporter that did that. Come to find out, it wasn't. It was a Democrat supporter that did those shootings. Charlottesville, I don't even know why in the hell he mentioned that. That's over and done with a long time ago. And crime. Crime is getting out of control in this country. I don't care what your opinion is about Biden, about Trump, about Republicans, Democrats, or whatever. The fact is, since Biden has taken office, crime, I'm not blaming it solely on him. You know, you look at the mayor in Chicago. Nobody ever talks about all the shootings in Chicago. Every single day there's shootings and murders in Chicago. They don't talk about that. The fentanyl. Why didn't he mention fentanyl? Because all he had, but the reason he didn't mention fentanyl is that's part of the border crisis. That's part of it. Whether you think there is a border crisis or not, and his dipshit press secretary, she's like, oh, we inherited this. No, you didn't. Look at the facts. So anyway, I just wanted to touch, this will be a short video, I just wanted to touch on those things. Because all he did, instead of trying to unify the country, all he did was stand there basically bashing half the country and Republicans as violent people, and nobody can point to any facts. As a matter of fact, after he gave his little demonic background speech about, you know, the Republicans are semi-fascists and extremists and all that, down in Florida they had a Republican place that was ransacked, damaged, whatever. So by him saying that, you know, Trump supporters and Republicans are violent, that's flat out lies. Look it up, people. Most people watch, you know, CNN, MSDNC, Fox News, CNN, and all those. Well, CNN is changing, people, because the guy who took over, he even came out and stated that it's time CNN turns back into a news station and not propaganda. So people are hitting the streets. I mean, he's firing people left and right. But anyway, the whole point of Biden saying he's trying to unify the country, that actually, if you look at it, that's a lie. Because if you're trying to unify the country, you're going to say, okay, all you Republican voters out there, you know, come over to our side. I'm trying to unify. Let's work together to unify this country. But instead, you're all fascist. You're racist. You're everything and everything. But he should have been talking about what's going on in this country with shortages, with the economy, with fuel prices, with shortages. That's what should have been talked about. So anyway, this is going to be a short video because I'm not going to rattle on too much. But anyway, I don't understand how he can say, I want to unify the country, and goes up there and bashes half the country. And I don't care if you hate Republicans or not. And Trump has nothing to do with what's going on now. Why are they so caught up with Trump? Because they're afraid of him. They're afraid of Republican voters that want to make the country great, keep it great, whatever you want to say. That's what's going on. He goes over to Saudi Arabia, begging them to produce more oil. Venezuela, produce more oil, please, because we're hurting. So 2 years ago, we were exporting energy, which I felt was a bad idea. I didn't like Trump for that. So don't think I liked everything Trump did, because I didn't. But now you have Biden over there. So it's like we're buying oil from Saudi Arabia, which he supposedly doesn't like, from Venezuela, which is socialist country. So we're doing all that. Instead, all he's got to do is allow their permits to get our oil going again, and that'll drive down prices. You don't think that Russia is loving this? I'm railing on. Sorry about that. But anyway, this was just a point out with his speeches, how he is not trying to unify this country. And if all the haters out there that hate Republicans, that hate Trump, I don't understand that. What did we, as a group of people, do to you for you to hate us? What did we do? Nothing. So that's unbelievable that he goes up there and starts spewing all this stuff, and that will cause people to become violent. Not on the Republican side. Okay? You don't see Trump's rallies, you don't see a bunch of violence there. You don't see any violence. It's always peaceful. Okay? So, anyway, I appreciate everybody watching my videos. I think I'm up over 58,000 views. If you want to subscribe, hit the little B in the bottom right-hand corner. Keep your comments respectful. You don't agree with what I just said, those are actual facts. I didn't hear it from CNN. I didn't hear it from Fox or OAN or all the others. I didn't hear it from them. Okay? This is all research. All right? So that's what I base most of my videos on. I don't base it on what the BS news tells you. I research. You listen to this news, listen to that news, pick it apart. But anyway, I just appreciate everybody watching my videos. And think about everything I just said. All right? Unifying. No, talk about what's going on in this country. Talk about that. That's what Americans are concerned with, and the whole, Roe versus Wade. They're like, oh, they took away your constitutional rights. Abortion is not a constitutional right. It's not in the Constitution. They didn't even have abortions when the Constitution was written. So anyway, thanks for watching. Before I rattle on too much and make it too long. Thank you.